sex and singing. So that's what's in store for this reading. So if that doesn't sound like something you are interested in at the moment, maybe just X out, because it's going to be a raunchy reading, and it's not what I intended. It's definitely not something I saw coming, but you know, it's a little bit like that on my channel. We never know what's coming. I really have to share this message. And in fact, there is a masculine whose energy is wrapped around me. I'm so enveloped by it that I couldn't even sit to write. Usually I write like a couple of notes just to kind of keep me focused if I lose focus, but yeah, I just gotta wing it. So, in no particular order, wish me luck. Because I have so much to get out, and I'm just worried that something's going to go, that something's not going to get in, and then I'm going to have to do another one. But okay. The first thing is I woke up this morning. Well, I should say I was awakened this morning. Someone singing in my ear, a masculine. As you know, this does happen to me. It's not new, but the song that this masculine was singing was, "If I were a carpenter and you were a lady, would you marry me anyway? Would you have my baby?" Yeah, so that was very low register, wasn't it? Yeah, what's wrong with carpenters? Jesus was a carpenter. That was my first reaction. Of course I would. Jesus was a carpenter. I love carpenters. I love wooden things. I was going to say I love wood, but I won't say I love wood. I love wooden things, as long as it's the right kind of wood. Yeah, what does your soul look like? That's the only thing on a person's CV I'm interested in at this stage of the game. But yeah, so there is a masculine who, and it's the same masculine, I also keep getting, and I almost posted it the other day and decided not to. I was really feeling this masculine's energy, and I saw the full moon, and I stopped actually. I stopped really abruptly to take a video, because the song that was playing on my radio was Bruce Springsteen's, "Ooh, I'm on fire." And it's about a man who's on fire for a woman, yeah? And that song has actually been playing for a bit anyway. It's been playing for a minute in my head. And it is a song all about lust. It's about desire, yeah? He's like, "I got a bad desire. I'm on fire." And I made a video and then decided not to post it. I thought, I think this is a little bit too raunchy. And then I posted one a little later with a more romantic song. It was, "You're once, twice, 3 times a lady, and I love you." Still a beautiful song, yeah? And I remember having this sort of discussion with myself, which one will I post? And I chose not to do the raunchy one. So it's not like it's something I want to do. I definitely don't want to. And I know that sex sells, and, you know, if I were to put like a half-naked woman on thumbnail and give it like a really raunchy title, it'd probably get more views. But, you know, it's not what I want from my channel. But I do have to, I'm going to have to do a raunchy reading today, because that's what wants to come out. So what's happening is there is a particular masculine who is on fire for a feminine. He is on fire like he's never been on fire before. I was shown him on fire within. He's on fire from within and without. He is on fire internally, and all around him there are flames as well. He cannot escape these flames. What's happened is he's come into contact with a particular divine feminine who, she does activate masculines. She activates people, okay, in general, but in particular, her role was to activate masculines, yeah, to come into their divine power. And this particular masculine, I was shown in a dream, actually, that he's just awakened from, it's like he had awakened from a coma. But the thing is, his whole life had been the coma, and now he's just awakened, yeah? And he's seeing everything in a completely different way. Now, this is a man who had always been very logical. Interesting, actually, because I only just thought about the fact that yesterday's reading was about logic versus intuition. Yes, normally very, very logical man. And it's perturbing him, yeah? I don't even use the word perturbing. Thank you for that. I would have said something else. But yeah, it's perturbing him that he cannot do anything to stamp out. I was showing him trying to stamp out the flames, and he can't. And he's concerned that it's just like a lust thing, you know, that it might just be a sexual fixation like he's never felt before. But the thing is, what I was told is that this lust, this feeling of desire, the desire is his love wanting to be expressed because he hasn't expressed it, and it's actually not going to go away. Sorry, buddy, is what I'm told. It's not going to go away. It's there to stay until he speaks his truth. But I am told that there are a few things first that he needs to kind of catch up a little bit to this feminine, because she's been doing it for a little longer than him. So they did show me the Hierophant card, and not in the first sense of the word, the usual sense of the word, which is, following tradition. No. In this sense, it's elevating so that he can kind of meet her, because she's already at the high priestess level, yeah? He's burning up. I'm getting, Lord Almighty, feel my temperature rising higher and higher. It's burning through to my soul. Girl, 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 you gonna set me on fire. My brain is flaming. I don't know which way to go. So yeah, she's done a number on him, and I could feel. I was actually in the shower, feeling him, and I felt so dizzy. I felt like I was gonna fall over, honestly. So yeah, she's got his head spinning. He's never felt this way about anyone before, and so he has no precedent, and so he's not sure he can trust it, because he's thinking it might just be lust. And that is, it's a disappointing thing that the devil has done in creating lust, because there's a beautiful, in creating lust that masquerades as love. Please let me qualify that statement, clarify. So, love is, desire is, please go away. Okay. Love, oh, that distracted me. What was I going to say? Love is desire, or desire is love? No. So I was once told, when I was in a deep meditation, that desire is love. Yeah. So if you really love somebody in that way, you do desire them. So desire is love. But the thing is, the devil, with his trickery, he likes to come up with, copycat feelings, yeah, or emotions or impulses. And so he's created I want to say fabricated, synthetic kind of lust. Right? That is very similar to it. Very similar to God's, to the lust that God puts within us when he wants us with someone. Very similar, but it's not the same. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. Please don't let me forget. Yes, there was something else I was about to say a moment ago. I told you I was going to struggle through this, but please stay with me. It'll be worth it. I might even do more singing. What was it I was going to say? Okay, I'll have to come back to that. But so desire is lust. So lust is desire. It's the same thing, yeah? That's what I was going to say. Okay, so what's happening is these two people, their souls are, shall we say, they are having a lot of cuddles in the higher dimensions already, okay? I did say they were quite acquainted. I said that a while ago. They're quite acquainted with each other, but I didn't mean it in a sexual way, and I didn't think it in a sexual way, but that's what's going on. They're already having lots of lovely cuddles, and so it feels really unnatural that on the earth plane, they're physically separate, yeah? And the feminine understands what's going on, but he doesn't understand, yeah? He will, but yeah, there's just a few more paces that he has to go through before he gets there. Now, was there something else I was going to... Yes, okay, here's the important thing. Here's how you know the difference between God's lust and the devil's counterfeit, synthetic, bullshit lust, okay? So with... and this didn't come from me. This was a revelation that was given to me a few weeks ago, and I wasn't going to put it into a video because, as I said, I don't want this to be a raunchy channel. But while we're doing it, let's do it, yeah? If you're in for a penny, in for a pound. Okay, so with God's love, so that desire that you feel for someone, when you are physical with that person, it will feel like I'm exploding. It's like it's too much. It's too much pleasure, too much joy. It's too much. I don't even know what to do with this feeling of ecstasy. Like, who do I praise? Who do I praise for this? Yeah, it's like this feeling of going outwards. Okay. Right? So it's a boundless feeling, it's a beautiful seismic explosion. And then, you should, because obviously it's a bit of a dangerous way to try before you buy, have sex with someone and then you'll know. No, imagine being with them, yeah? And then how does it make you feel? And then afterwards, what do you want to do afterwards, yeah? Because I did have somebody who I remember I once was extremely infatuated with on a physical level, but whenever I would imagine myself being with this person, I would, if I'd picture the next morning, for some reason in my fantasy, I never wanted to go for breakfast with him. Ever. I never wanted to go for breakfast with him. In my head, it was always like, I just kind of want to go home now, And every time I ever thought about him in that way, it was the same thing, right? So, do you want to go for breakfast with him afterwards? What do you want to do afterwards, once you're done? Yeah, once you scratch the itch. Okay, Now with the devil's lust, yeah, that he does try to trick people with, and a lot of couples actually who were meant to come together did not come together because the devil placed a counterfeit in that masculine's way, and he got stuck. And the word that was used was glue. He got stuck in a luck. That's interesting. Well, he probably thought he got he got lucky, didn't he? He thought he had everything that he had asked for, but it wasn't. Yeah, it was a trick. And then he ended up being in a situation where they got stuck like glue. In some cases, they actually ended up having a child and having to stay together. In other cases, just a lust trap that becomes very, very hard to leave. But he would have had that same level of lust, in fact more with a feminine, if he had just said no to the first one. Yeah, I was shown a masculine, and I may have said this on a previous video. He was meant to go to the right, and he was on his way to the right, but then he saw Mickey acted like a mouse. He saw a piece of cheese. Sorry, there you go, you can see my hand now. He saw a piece of cheese to the left, and he thought, you know what, I'll just go and have that piece of cheese quickly, and then I'll keep going that way. But he didn't realize it was a mouse trap. Yeah. So yes, be careful with that. It's really important what you say no to in this life, because if you say no to one thing, you will then have an opportunity to have something that's so much better. Patience is very important. Yes, it's a marathon, not a sprint. But in any event, I will go back to what I was saying. I wanted to do this under 10, not a chance that's going to happen. What I was saying was that with the lust that comes from the devil, it's a very different feeling. So when you are having sex with a person and it's not from God, but it is, maybe you might call it spell work or whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, it's this feeling of I can't get enough. I want to get closer. I want more. Like it's like no matter what you do, it just doesn't feel like enough. And that's coming from a place of lack. You will never get enough. It will never sustain you, yeah? And people will keep going back to it because they're looking for something. They're still looking for something, yeah? And so it's very different to I've found everything that I could ever possibly want, Yes, it's a physical thing and it's a physical pleasure, but why is it giving you so much pleasure? Because it's from the soul, yeah? It is satiating your soul. And I was reminded, and it's so funny, we're going from sex to the Bible, but I was reminded of when Jesus said to that woman, you've been married 5 times, but none of these men were your husband. None of these men are your husband. What did he mean by that? In the earthly sense, yes, they were. But God, Jesus, does not care about earthly marriages, cares about heavenly marriages, yeah? Now, with this particular masculine and feminine, what I was also shown was I was shown the feminine and the masculine at a doorway, okay? And he's looking at her, she's looking at him. Now, what has to happen? He has to put his hand out, okay? So he needs to take the lead. Feminine, if you know that I'm talking to you, don't be tempted to take the lead. It's not your role here, okay? You really need to let him take the lead. Give him some time to do it. He'll do it when he's ready, yeah? Now, masculine, you need to take the lead if you're watching this. Please don't do it if you just have, a feminine you're kind of sort of keen on, or you're still figuring out whether she's the one, or, I'm not talking to you. This is not about you. This is about a masculine who is literally on fire, right? What is it? At night I wake up with the sheets soaking wet and a freight train running through the middle of my head. Only you can cool my desire. If you are on fire and there is a feminine who you just... you just want to jump into her waters because only her, she is the only one that can put out that fire. If you know that about her, then yes, I am talking to you, okay? Use your intuition, both of you, masculines and feminine. This masculine has to take the lead, okay? And what happens is a feminine puts her hand in his and he leads her towards him. And what the feminine does, it's so beautiful. She closes the door behind her. Close it without even looking. She doesn't even look back to close the door. You don't need to. You're very intuitive. You know where the door is. Close the door behind you without looking back, and you go with him. You go with him where he takes you. You do not look back. Remember Sodom and Gomorrah? What happened to the woman who looked back? She turned into a pillar of salt. Yeah, you don't want to spend the rest of your life salty. So I think that's it. I hope I've covered everything. Yes, and you know what? It's okay to talk about sex. I never thought I would in this way, but it is okay. It is a very, very pure thing. Why do you think God chose it as the act that creates life? Yeah, there's a reason for that. Yeah, I think that's everything I want to say. I might even do a quick card read now, and I will see you all soon. Have a great day.